She claimed she cured her terminal cancer with smoothies. She had over 300,000 followers, and not a single medical record. He posed as a Navy SEAL, a Bitcoin investor, and a romantic savior, until he scammed over $1 million from a single Facebook group. These aren't characters in a Netflix drama, these are real people, and today, we're telling their true stories. This is the rise of the modern scammer, people who became celebrities, heroes, even role models, all while lying through their teeth. In a world built on followers, filters, and false promises, some individuals figured out how to turn trust into profit. And the scariest part? They got away with it for years. Let's start with Belle Gibson. In 2013, Belle was the picture of resilience. A young Australian woman, only in her early 20s, claiming she was battling terminal brain cancer. But she wasn't crying. She was healing. With whole foods, green juices, and essential oils. She rejected chemotherapy and told the world that natural living saved her life. Her story went viral. She launched a wellness app, wrote a book, and even got featured in the launch of Apple Watch. She told her followers that profits from her business would go to cancer-related charities. She inspired people around the world. There was just one problem. She never had cancer. After investigative journalists started looking into her story, things quickly unraveled. There were no medical records, no hospitals confirmed her visits. And the charities she claimed to donate to? They hadn't received a single dollar. Belle had built a brand on lies, and people bought it. What made Belle so dangerous wasn't just the scam, it was how believable she was. She looked the part. She cried at the right times. She knew how to perform vulnerability, and in today's world, that's often more valuable than truth. But Belle wasn't alone. In the United States, a woman named Amanda C. Riley was running a similar con. Amanda started a blog and later a YouTube channel documenting her journey with cancer. She claimed she had Hodgkin's lymphoma. She shared emotional birthday posts, wore scarves to hide her hair loss, and spoke openly about her treatments. Churches rallied around her, friends raised money, strangers donated out of pure compassion. She raised over $100,000. But just like Belle, she was never sick. She faked hospital visits, forged medical records, and even posted photos from real hospitals, but they weren't her appointments. She used stock photos and cleverly framed shots to maintain the illusion. In 2021, Amanda was sentenced to 5 years in prison for wire fraud, but even after her arrest, some of her online supporters refused to believe she had lied. That's the power of emotional manipulation. These scammers aren't robbing banks, they're robbing emotions. They're taking the most human things, empathy, support, kindness, and twisting them into tools for profit. And then, there's Richard Scott Smith. He's a man who didn't just scam people financially but emotionally, romantically, and psychologically. Richard wasn't just a liar, he was a shapeshifter. He would meet women online, mostly through Facebook, and present himself as the perfect man. Sometimes he was a chef, other times a retired Marine. He'd say he had money, real estate, a stable life. He'd fall in love quickly. He'd talk about marriage within weeks. And once the women were invested, emotionally and often financially, he'd convince them to open joint bank accounts, to take out loans together, to merge their lives. Then he'd vanish. In some cases, he stole their cars. In others, he left them with mountains of debt. He married at least 10 different women under different names. His web of lies